Hey manhwa lovers, welcome back to the manhwa station. Our subscriber Supriya recently recommended this manhwa in one of our videos and I was intrigued by the plot, so I thought to make a recap. I want to take a moment to thank all of you for your support in making our community grow to 3K. As the risk over manhwa channels is increasing, please follow us on Instagram or Twitter using the links provided in the description. Now, let's dive into the story. On a certain fateful day, a massive tower appeared without warning and wreaked havoc on the city, leaving behind a trail of destruction and marking the day as the worst in human history. The catastrophic event shook humanity to its core, leaving many people feeling scared and vulnerable. In the midst of this chaos, a message appeared, instructing every human to accept the tower's existence if they wish to survive. Only the strongest and most capable individuals, those with the power and strength required, accepted the conditions and became known as Tower Walkers. As these Tower Walkers bravely fought against the monsters and worked to clear the tower, they encountered a strange stone-like item. This item, known as the Regression Stone, was explained to have the ability to transport a person back in time, much like Doctor Strange's stone. Unlike the Doctor Strange stone, however, the Regression Stone allowed the person to retain their memories from before they used the stone. Additionally, it could be divided for multiple uses. One person, a man with golden eyes, dark hair, and a beard, stepped forward to hold the stone. He declared that he would use it to confirm its authenticity and to ensure its integrity. With intense power in his eyes, he fought fiercely against a group of monsters, showcasing his bravery and determination. Do you all feel the same sense of excitement and anticipation as the Tower Walkers continue their journey, facing the unknown and embracing the challenges that lie ahead? Following the man's use of the Regression Stone, he vanished from the tower, leaving the other Tower Walkers in a state of confusion. As they grappled with the situation, the concept of regression soon became a popular choice among them, as more and more Tower Walkers decided to travel back in time for their own safety. In the end, almost all Tower Walkers used the Regression Stone, leaving only two behind, one of whom was the main protagonist. With their friend, Jaehwan, heavily injured after a brutal battle with a deadly monster, our protagonist, Jaehwan, was left as the last person standing in the tower. Despite the odds, he continued to fight against the monsters alone, determined to survive and protect his friend. Jaehwan, regretfully, decides to use the Regression Stone, knowing it is the only way to ensure his survival. He apologizes to Jaehwan for leaving him behind and departing from the tower. Meanwhile, Jaehwan contemplates the consequences of using the Regression Stone and moving back in time. He wonders what would become of those who have already used the stone and surrendered their present for the sake of their past. Believing that going back to the past is a cowardly act, Jaehwan resolves to not use the Regression Stone and instead faces the challenges of the tower head-on. He decides to climb to the top of the tower and defeat the monsters, no matter the cost. This bravery impresses even a fearsome ice dragon, who applauds Jaehwan for his determination and strength. The monsters in the tower chuckle, pleased with their creation of a formidable opponent in Jaehwan. What do you all think? Is Jaehwan right to stay in the present and conquer the tower, or should he have followed the other Tower Walkers and regressed to the past? The news of the rapidly growing earthquake, which has already caused significant damage, spreads quickly and causes widespread panic among the population. People are desperate to escape the danger, but with each passing moment, the situation becomes more dire. Meanwhile, our protagonist Jaehwan is struggling to survive, trying to save others and keep himself safe amidst the chaos. Suddenly, in the midst of the earthquake, a young girl clings to him, calling him Thief Appa, and tells him to look behind. Confused, Jaehwan and those around him are stunned to see a massive tower emerging from within the earth. Reports from around the world soon confirm that the same tower is appearing in different countries, from England to Japan, and is being described as a Tower of Nightmare. At that moment, a message appears before Jaehwan, summoning him to become a Tower Walker and save the world from the monsters that have emerged. Despite the dangerous circumstances and the magnitude of the task ahead of him, Jaehwan bravely accepts the title of Tower Walker and sets out to save the world. Jaehwan was transported to a battlefield along with other Tower Walkers, where they were to fight against a horde of monsters. He initially took on the role of a Tower Walker as a means of entertainment, with the promise of earning skills, coins, and gems as rewards for victory. However, as time passed, Jaehwan came to realize the grave reality of the situation. The thought of participating in this Tower Walker job as a game was a foolish mistake, as they would ultimately be risking their lives to defend the people. One day, while the tower was under construction, some workers spotted a strange figure standing on the edge of the tower. They immediately raised the alarm, warning the figure to step back, as it was dangerous, and also tried to call the police in case anything went wrong. To their horror, the figure turned out to be a monster, with more monsters appearing from the depths of the earth. This disaster was named the Tower Impact. The monsters spread across the Earth's surface, wreaking havoc and destruction in their wake. This event was remembered as the worst day in the history of humanity, reminiscent of an attack on Titan. The monsters that flowed out of the tower killed countless people and wiped out 1/3 of the world's population. However, the chosen and powerful tower walkers did not give up hope. They decided to confront the monsters and embark on a journey to reach the top of the tower, with the goal of putting an end to the destruction. After searching deep within the caves, they stumbled upon a massive rock, from which they discovered the regression or the return stone. Jaehwan, who was the captain of the tower walkers and a respected leader, decided to take the risk and try the regression. As a leader, it was his duty to take charge of the situation and find a solution to the disaster. The group also encountered a former science professor named Sakamoto, who possessed a wealth of knowledge. He warned the others that Jaehwan might not return to the present and see them again because he had interfered with the timeline by using the return stone to travel to the past. Sakamoto further expanded on his explanation, drawing upon the principles of multiverse theory and parallel universe theory. He proposed that their current situation was one in which the timeline had split into two, with the present and past existing as separate entities. The concept of a multiverse was mind-boggling, reminiscent of the multiverse madness seen in the movie Doctor Strange. As the world now exists as a multiverse, Jaehwan in this world would be different from the Jaehwan that the tower walkers knew. Unfortunately, at that very moment, the second impact of the tower occurred, and billions of monsters began attacking the tower and the people outside. The world was plunged into chaos and destruction. It was now up to the tower walkers to make a critical decision. They had to weigh their options and decide whether to fight the monsters and face certain death, or to use the return stone to travel to the past and change the timeline, following Sakamoto's hypothesis. One by one, each of the other tower walkers began to lose hope and chose to travel back in time using the regression path. Soon, only one person remained in the tower, cowering in fear before a vicious monster. This tower walker too was losing hope and seemed ready to surrender. Just as the monster was about to attack, a stronger and more determined tower walker arrived on the scene. This new arrival made a grand entrance and expertly dispatched the monster using their exceptional sword skills, succeeding in saving the cowering tower walker. Most of the cowards had fled the tower, using the return stone to escape the danger, leaving only a few brave souls behind. These stalwart individuals formed the last do-or-die squad, nicknamed Carpe Diem, who were not tempted by the regression stone and were determined to face their challenges head-on. Jaehwan starts to ponder on the events that led up to this moment. He realizes that the monster with the cat-like mask was a turning point in their journey. He recalls the time when he and his comrade, Jaehwan, faced the monster together. Despite being confident in his own skills, Jaehwan was still wary of the monster's power. This may be another love duo. But, with their combined effort, they were able to defeat the monster and chop off its head. Jaehwan feels a twinge of regret for the loss of his friends and wonders where they went wrong. He reflects on the choices he and the other tower walkers made and begins to question if there was anything they could have done differently to prevent the tragedy. The members of the squad were making progress as they climbed their way to the top of the tower. Suddenly, Jaehwan stumbled upon a sword lying on the ground. The sword was a powerful weapon, crafted by the master of the 85th floor over the course of 1,000 days. It was said to possess the combined energy of the sun and moon and was created with the intention of defeating the dragon. However, as the team reached the 98th floor of the tower, known as the Chamber of Purgatory, Jaehwan was faced with a devastating realization. All of the decisions he had made and all of his hopes of conquering the tower and saving the world now seemed like a false hope. He felt that all their efforts had been in vain. Just as he was about to be consumed by a monster, Jaehwan appeared and saved him, offering hope and encouragement. He told Jaehwan that it was not the time to lose hope or regret their efforts. Jaehwan stressed to Jaehwan that he could not defeat the monster alone and that he needed to stand by his side. However, the worst soon came to pass when Jaehwan was killed by the monster in an attempt to save Jaehwan. This loss of his last source of hope filled Jaehwan with a mixture of anger and regret. Driven by his emotions, Jaehwan charged towards the monster with his sword in hand. The monster soon realized its mistake in underestimating Jaehwan. With all of his remaining strength, Jaehwan was able to defeat the monster. After the monster was defeated, Jaehwan called out for Jaehwan and asked him to leave the 98th floor as they were now safe. He took a moment to reflect on the loss of his friend and all that they had been through. Jaehwan was shocked when he saw Jaehwan, who apologized before making a sudden change in his behavior. Jaehwan remembered Jaehwan as the Smile Knight, always smiling even in the face of the cruel tower. He couldn't understand why Jaehwan had lost his smile for the first time and couldn't look him in the eye. Feeling betrayed by his friend's sudden change, Jaehwan told him to leave and walked ahead towards the exit gate of the 98th floor. When Jaehwan opened the gate, a freezing blast of air and light entered the room. He found that the 99th floor was a snowfield and, despite being alone, He decided to continue on and not give up on their dream of reaching the top of the tower. Jaehwan wondered what challenges and obstacles he would face on the 99th floor. Would he be able to conquer it and survive on his own? What new and stronger monsters would he have to face? Let's check out in the next episode. Before I make more lame jokes, I would like to make a request. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. If you are eager to know what happens next in this manhwa, please leave a comment below saying a lone warrior. I will also be sharing updates and information about the manhwa on my social media handles, which I will list below. So make sure to follow me on these platforms for early news and updates on the recap uploads and timings I will be sharing on Instagram. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support and love. I hope to see you in the next part of this journey.